Hey guys, Dustin here with Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and today I'm going to be showing you how to install the Tusk Top Rack on a KTM 690. Alright, so today we'll be installing the Tusk Top Rack on a KTM 690. I really like this top rack. It's easy to install. It's great for those big long adventure rides. Instead of having to carry a bunch of stuff in your backpack, you can go ahead and throw it on the top rack and get it nice and strapped in. So in order to install this top rack, we're just going to need a few tools. We'll need some basic metric sockets. We'll need a few open-ended wrenches. We'll also need a 3/4 inch drill bit or 19 millimeter, and of course a drill gun in order to drill the holes out of the fender. So the kit's going to come complete with all the necessary hardware that you'll need to get this mounted to the bike. So with all that in mind, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first thing we're going to want to do is get the seat removed. So we've got an aftermarket accessory here. We're going to go ahead and get this pulled off. Remove our seat. Next, we've got to remove our gas fill cap. So for this spot, we've got three 3mm Allen bolts. So once you pull this out of the way, there is an O-ring, so watch for that. Do your best to try not to get any dirt or debris that may fall into the gas tank. So I'm gonna just take a clean rag, stuff it inside of there. That way I can ensure that I'm not gonna get any garbage into my gas tank. All right. Next, we've got 4 bolts that we need to remove. We've got 1 on both sides of the fender and 2 on top of the gas tank. With those removed, you'll notice there's an additional 3 bolts that reside underneath the fender. Those are going to be a 6mm. So now we can go ahead and get those removed. All right, now we can pull the fender off. Set this aside. Okay, now there's going to be 4 fasteners here. We only need to remove 3 of them. We're not going to remove the last one because we don't want the mudguard to come off. Okay, so when it comes to drilling the holes on your fender, ours are pre-drilled. But on your OEM fender, it will have 4 pre-marked holes where you're going to use the 3/4 inch drill bit. So these are the holes in which the spacers will fit for the top rack itself. So once you have these 4 holes drilled out, then we can go ahead, take the fender and remount it to the motorcycle. So now we're going to remount the fender to the bike. We're going to start from the back side with the mudguard. There's 3 fasteners. We'll get these reinstalled. Once we've got the rear fasteners installed, now we can move on to the 4 bolts that will be on the front here. Remember, 1 on each side, 2 on the top. Next, we can install our gas cap. All right, so now we've got our gas cap installed. Now we can get into our Tusk Top Rack package and we can pull out all of our parts. We've gone ahead, pulled everything out, so I'm gonna show you how to assemble it. So we're gonna take our top rack. This is our top side with the Tusk sticker. Bottom side. This is the bracket that's gonna mount on the back side. So with the top rack upside down, we're gonna set this into place. Then we can take one of our 5 fasteners. They're going to be installed like so. After that, we can take a washer and nylock nut. So that's how you install the rear positioning bracket that's going to mount like so. Next, we can move on towards the next 2 that will seat in the front. Now, the way that I'm installing these forward-facing brackets, if you'll notice, on the bracket itself, we've got a smaller, shorter slot and a larger, longer slot. The larger, longer slot's going to be the one receiving the larger bolt. The smaller one will mount to the top plate. All right, so now we've got our top rack loosely assembled. So let's take these spacers and place them into the holes we've drilled on the fender. Now we're just gonna do the first 3. We're gonna leave this last bolt in place to help us keep everything aligned. That way we're not fighting it as we're trying to get it installed. So now we can place our top rack into position. Next, we'll grab 2 of our 4 bolts. Now, the rear bolts are going to be longer. They'll be an 8 by 65 millimeter bolt. The 2 that will seat in the front are the 60 millimeter bolts. So first we're going to set our rear, which are the longer ones. Okay, so now that we've got the rears installed, now we can remove this 4th bolt from our fuel tank. Pull this last bolt out. Now we can insert our last spacer. Next will be our front 8 by 60 millimeter bolts. Now we can start by securing the rear 2. Once we've got the rear 2 nice and snugged up, we can go ahead and get the rest of our top rack tightened up. Now, as you're tightening, be sure to be mindful of alignment. You may have to go back, loosen up a bolt or 2. All right, now we've got our top rack installed, we can go ahead and get our seat back onto the bike. And that's how we install the Tusk Top Rack. This rack will make a great addition to your adventure bike. It's a nice sturdy platform which is going to allow you to strap some luggage to it and take it with you on your nice long rides. That's it for me, guys. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more how-to videos. Thanks so much for watching and keep turning those wrenches.